Hey, my name's Brian. I used to have really bad acne. Wham, boom, bam, whammo. But over the course of a year on Accutane, I've cleared up a lot. Now I'm in the final stretches of my treatment. Enjoy my Accutane adventures. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Accutane week 54. Dang, that's a long time. Seriously. Now, I usually like to show you guys something that you can make fun of, and today it's gonna be my beard. I've been letting this grow out since Thursday when we went up to Ellen's show, and I legitimately haven't shaved since Thursday, and this is the weak beard that my face decides to grow. Make fun of it in the comments. Now let's go to the episode. Now to update you guys on this week, it's not gonna take long. I'm feeling a lot more clear. I do have just a few that are sticking around. I have this one on my forehead that's been around forever. This one on my eyebrows that's been around for a decently long time. But my face is looking generally clear, you know, as usual, as per usual. And we're just trying to stick on and hopefully get rid of the small little imperfections and hopefully clear up in the next 3 weeks. Also, my side effects are super minimal. Dry lips, dry mouth skin around the lower region of my face area. And that's really it. I mean, even the soreness of my back and the soreness of my muscles has not really been there in the last probably like 3 or 4 weeks. So my side effects are super minimal, which is awesome. Now this week I wanted to address more of the questions because there was just so many. For some reason you guys decided last week was the week that you were gonna ask all the questions, which is awesome. So this episode is just gonna be dedicated to answering as many as I can. Let's get it started. Mr. Ismaki says, do you think masturbation has a correlation to acne and aggravation of acne? Honestly, I think this one is kind of a myth. I think this is kind of one of those ones that people just make up and then people hear it and then they're like, oh yeah, like if you masturbate, you're gonna have hairy palms. I don't think it's true at all. A lot of people say that if you have sex or masturbate, that your acne will aggravate, and I've never experienced either of those things. And I don't mean I haven't experienced sex or masturbation. I've experienced both of those things. I mean I haven't experienced aggravation of acne after those things. Oh, this one is good. Everyone asks this. I get this asked literally every single week, and I feel like I should almost address it every single week in the beginning of the video or something. But Josh Clement says, if you're not taking whey protein or if dairy and whatnot aggravates your acne, what protein powder are you taking? If I was rich and I could actually afford it, I would be taking Optimum Nutrition egg protein. That's my favorite protein powder that I can actually take. And I was taking that for about 6 months when I could afford it, but it's relatively expensive. I think it's like 40 or 50 bucks for 2 pounds. So it ends up stacking up over the months of oatmeal consumage. So I just don't take anything. I'm actually just eating a bunch of meat and whatnot for my protein. But if you need to, then I would definitely suggest egg protein if you want like some good flavor. It has a little bit of a weird aftertaste, but it's pretty much one of the best. Rice protein I heard is really good, and soy protein's awesome, but like I try to stay away from it because all the estrogens and whatnot, but I do end up having a soy protein bar every single day. Oh, speaking of food, tomorrow is my full day of eating Tasty Tuesday episode, so please don't miss that. It's gonna be important for those of you who are wondering what my diet is on this whole Accutane adventure. Jay wants to know, he says, has your doctor actually given you a reason that your Accutane isn't working as effectively as other people's Accutane has by this point in your treatment? Yes, he has kind of given me an answer, but it's kind of the same answer I've already given you guys, and I've kind of deducted myself, is that the Accutane just isn't absorbing as quickly as other people's Accutane absorbs. This is just generally because I don't have a ton of fat in my diet. Lots of people are on a much higher fat diet, but also because I'm a much larger person. I have a lot more mass, and it's lean mass. So the amount that I need to absorb is more, and I'm absorbing less than most people do. So it's gonna take me longer to actually get the amount of Accutane built up in my body to the point that it's treating me like it is treating other people in shorter amounts of time. If that made any sense at all. Next question comes from a girl who's always in my Accutane videos, supporting me, just following every week, and I really appreciate that. But I have no idea how to pronounce this name, honestly. I think it's Thesa's home? Anyways, what she says basically is that she's 19, she's been taking Accutane for a while, and she realized that as she was going on, her energy levels were starting to lower, and she was feeling like she just didn't have quite as much energy, and she notices that I have quite a lot of energy. So she wanted to know, have I experienced any sort of energy loss at all? Have I experienced my energy, you know, being affected by Accutane? And yes, the answer is absolutely yes. I noticed it a lot more in the beginning of Accutane, and honestly, I feel like maybe I'm still experiencing it, but I've just lived so long with these side effects and these changes that they've become what I'm used to, so I can't even really decipher the difference between low and high energy, so this is just my new high energy right now. But I have experienced that in the beginning of Accutane. I actually had that happen where I was feeling like I was shorter of breath, and I was noticing that on like leg days I would gas out really quick. I would like be like, you know, breathing really hard, and I was like, what am I doing lately that's causing me to be short of breath or out of energy? Nothing. And then I realized it was Accutane. Accutane was actually zapping my energy a little bit, keeping me a little bit of short of breath. And I guess that's just something you have to expect, you know? Something you have to kind of live with, because what are you gonna do? You're either gonna not take Accutane or you're gonna take Accutane and deal with just a little bit of energy loss. SBA Fitness came through and he says, does caffeine ever affect your acne? Does it ever aggravate you? By the way, SBA Fitness, I see you, baby girl. For me, personally, caffeine does not. I've tested this before. I've gone off of pre-workouts for weeks at a time, 1-2 weeks, and then came back and just, you know, kind of gauged the differences between the two, and I saw no difference at all. Now, each person I feel like should go through all their personal experiments themselves. Yes, you can get good anecdotal advice and experience from me, but I'm different from you. You could maybe drink a gallon of milk and never break out, but if I drink a gallon of milk, you better believe I'll have a gallon-sized cyst on my face. But for you, it may be a different story, and for me, caffeine doesn't affect my acne at all, but for you, it maybe just blows you up. So you need to try these things, test them out for, I'd say, about a week or two at a time, and then gauge what you think is or is not aggravating your acne. OMG, Brian, we love your show so much. Friends and I always watch Accutane videos together each week at one of our houses after school. As you help us battle through our own journey on Accutane, are you able to give our homeland of New Zealand a shout out in your next Accutane video and maybe even attempt to try our accent? That was so bad. That was so bad. Shout out to New Zealand though, and you, Evan Tower, and all your friends. Please keep watching. Thank you for supporting. That's really cool that you guys kind of get like a little powwow going every week and watch together. That is super cool. You guys are all awesome. Thank you for watching. Jason Rosati, big shout out to this guy. He has literally the biggest collection of Beyond the Week gear out of anyone, even myself. He has more clothes than I have, because he's gotten all the exclusive releases and I haven't even gotten all those. It's pretty impressive. Anyways, what he says is, how long were you expecting to be on Accutane when you first started? I had no idea. I had no intention of stopping at like 6 months or stopping it. You know, I was just planning on going, but I definitely didn't think I was gonna go for over a year. I assumed it would probably be something like an 8-month treatment, because that's generally what most people have, especially since I had such a severe case of acne. But we're now at 54 weeks, but I'm totally okay with that. It's not even a problem. Honestly, it's like, that's just like me living my life. I'm not even thinking about the acne and the Accutane thing. I'm just doing that at night when I eat my fats. Woo! All right, guys, that is the last question I have from last week's video. If you have any questions for me to answer next week in week 55 of Accutane, please leave them right below this video in the comments. That's where I check before I record every week's video. So, I mean, if you got a question about anything, it doesn't have to be about Accutane, please leave it down below. If I find that I can answer that in next week's episode, I definitely will. If you enjoy the content and the channel, please click the subscribe button to follow. It's completely free. It helps me out. You guys get an update every time I put a video up, and you guys can help support me every single day, or even a few days of the week if you can. Thank you guys so much for checking out this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in next week's episode. Big J.
Lift heavy or die Myrick!
Yeah!